But if I'm going back probably to my favorite 4th of July memory of all time, it's way back, and I talked to you about it earlier in the week.
Mm-hmm.
Way back in 2005, and at this point I'm a fresh out of high school. I think you're fresh out of high school. Maybe you're still in high school. I don't even remember. Maybe just graduated.
Summer of 2005, I would have just graduated high school. Yeah.
I don't know how everybody was there, but it was literally had a bunch of my friends were there. You were there. My parents were there. My sister was there. It was the whole crew. The whole kit caboodle went down to Jones Beach. I had a young lady who was there with me at the time, and had asked her to be my girlfriend. This is my first ever girlfriend. My first legit girlfriend. You always have like the one you kind of hang out with, and
yeah.
But this was like I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. I'm on literal cloud 9. And I cannot imagine doing this today. We go home, and everyone had a great time. We all go, everyone goes home. Everyone says goodnight. And I get home and immediately turn on Raw because I can't miss it. I don't want to miss Raw. Heaven forbid. Spoilers. I can't fathom the idea of it being ruined. So I went, I turned on Raw and watched it in real time. Started the show at like 1 a.m., maybe later, because who knows what time we got home from that. And watched the entire thing all the way through. And it was one of these things where, I'm falling asleep. The show was not very good. But at the end, did you go back and watch the end of that show? Do you know what I'm referring to?
That one, I didn't get a chance to do this one, no. But what happens?
So the end of that show, Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan, they're facing someone. I want to say Carlito and Kurt Angle, and they're a team. And at the time, they had just teamed up on pay-per-view. They had reunited for one night only. They win the match. They're doing the Hulk Hogan pose. It is cheesy as can be. Shawn is jumping up and down, and then Hulk Hogan turns around. He goes like this, and Shawn Michaels, boom, sweet chin music, kicks him right in the face, and I just lost it. I was the most excited I think I'd ever been. I think I called you. I think I called James, who was both you guys were with me at the time, and I said, "Oh my God, Shawn Michaels just turned on Hulk Hogan. He turned heel. This is amazing." And yeah, woke you guys both up because, of course, at that point, this was hours after we had gotten back. So the guys were both ready to kill me, but I was so amped up about it. And that was the start to a very exciting road to SummerSlam with Shawn Michaels going up against Hulk Hogan at the SummerSlam 2005 main event. So really, really fun times. Great memory for me as a fan. And the very next week, I did not watch the show, but you did. And you had texted me on your birthday that somebody had returned. Do you remember who returned to WWE the following week?
Wow. 2005.
At this point, pretty much known for if I missed a show, something huge was going to happen. And at this point, there was nothing bigger than this happening. And it happened the following week on Raw.
I'm trying to think who was like out at the time that would have was it somebody that was like injured that made the return, or is this like a debut?
No, this was a return, but the guy was not injured. And it meant a lot to me.
Meant a lot to you.
My favorite wrestler at the
time. Was it Austin?
No, it was Matt Hardy.
Oh, okay, yep.
Because Matt had just started the whole thing with him and Edge and Lita, and he had been fired. And I took it like personal. Like I remember writing Xanga entries all about Matt, how unfair it was to Matt Hardy, how he got fired because Lita had been with Edge. And then I remember you said, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And I said, "I didn't see it." And I think you said something like, "Well, I think I think that just goes to show Matt Hardy will not die," or something like that. And Matt Hardy showed up. He hops the rail on Raw and starts screaming, "WWE can kiss my ass. I'm going to Ring of Honor." And it was like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Great summer of 2005 as a wrestling fan. And but yeah, it kicks off there. 4th of July 2005. I'll always remember that as a wrestling fan, and that day there with everybody randomly together at Jones Beach, which was never a fun time, but going to Jones Beach because of the traffic that you'd have to go to. But it was fun. It's brought back good memories, if nothing else.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you always have great memories at the time when you're actually going through, and like when you're chilling on the beach, or like they're hanging out with everybody. It's the ride back that's always the killer, especially at Jones Beach when you had that bottleneck and you're sitting there for 2 or 3 hours before you even get on the road.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, but I remember that one specifically. While the fireworks are going off, it's always the time you can kind of take a minute to reflect, look at everyone who's around, and be like, "This is pretty cool." Especially that moment in 2005 there with my friends and family all together. Like,
Yeah.
that's never happen again. And so for that to occur, and obviously my father's passed away, so the idea that he was there and he was never really around at that point for things like that. So it was a really cool moment and a good memory there with old HB Shizzle giving the old sweet chin music to Hulk Hogan, and I was not a Hogan guy at the time, so I was a much bigger HBK fan. So
yeah, of course.
In music, I was leaping for joy and about as happy as I could be, and very, very cool moment. If you have any memories of 4th of July that you remember as a wrestling fan or any in general, make sure you leave them in the comment section below.